everybody! Welcome to another Sunday Funday. Why am I saying it so much like the movie Phone Guy? I just realized that. Hey, we're back with, of course, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Though it was strange, I was really wondering if they were going to have like an early preview, or not early preview, because technically it's got its limited release for Sorry to Bother You. Which, yeah, if you hear me keep talking about, I really want to see that. That looks like a hell of a lot of fun. It looks very funny. No such luck. Not that we were going to see that over what we did see, which was Ant-Man and the Wasp. And of course, Megan is here. She couldn't say about Jurassic World, but hey, she was able to say that Sicario was boring as shit. And I will let you again lead us off. What did you think of Ant-Man and the Wasp?
It was good. I liked it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, I totally get you there. I think I'm in a similar boat. It is a good movie. By no stretch of imagination, this is a bad movie. In fact, that's the weird thing with Marvel. They have never had really an outright bad film from their current lineup. I should put it that way.
Yeah.
We will forget that thing that Ang Lee called the Hulk. This might be the poorest, and somebody might use that incorrectly, film next to Iron Man 3, which I still hold as the bearer of the worst of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Even then, it's like not like, oh my god, it's so horrible, burn it.
Yeah, it's just one of those like, it's a disappointment is the biggest thing. It's like,
not like the piece of shit Man of Steel was, or
Batman v Superman,
or
Justice League,
or any of the 50 Shades movies. I know I'm talking about comic book movies, but I'm just.
And even then, like we're kind of saying, I think we both agree, because we've been kind of talking about this. It's not that it's terrible. Yeah. And I would say Ant-Man, probably beforehand, the first Ant-Man, arguably could have been the worst next to Iron Man 3, I think, originally. Not that it was bad, because it was actually really inventive to have a superhero heist movie. Just I thought that the first one, there were certain things it could have done a little bit more, which they did do with this one. Which then it's like, well, why did we not like this? Would you want me to go into my feelings on this first? Since I think I've kind of figured it out.
Well, is it because some things from the first movie, they kind of ramped up, they were kind of like a little bit unnecessary?
Yeah.
And other elements, they just kind of fell to the wayside or rehashed or something.
Yeah, I will say, Warner, we're probably going to spoil this movie a little bit. It's not that it's terrible. It's just, there's some parts that are just like, could have gone a little bit better.
Although we didn't enjoy as much as we hoped we would.
Yeah, I still think this is a solid enough film to go see.
Yeah.
If you're into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and you want to watch them all, this is not going to be a disappointment. I think for me this is more Thor levels, because I personally like Dark World a little bit more than Thor, even though the villain in Dark World is completely forgettable. Like, all I remember is he's an elf. I don't remember even his name.
Malekith.
Yeah, Malekith, or however you say it.
I think I only remember that because they've been showing it on FX like crazy. So.
But the first Thor, I thought, could have done a whole lot more, and just it didn't help that it had that annoying comedic sidekick that really, she was a drill through my head. Here, I will say the comedy didn't always work. That was a problem I kept coming across. Like, our theater, they were kind of chuckling at quite a few bits, and there were a lot of parts I was like, I don't get what's so funny. There were some still good laughs when it was trying to have good laughs.
Yeah, like, what are you, 15?
Yeah.
Making fun of Paul Rudd and how his character's like a little bit kind of immature.
Yeah. But a lot of it, like, with the FBI agent, what was his, Wu, was that his last name? I can't remember.
Played by the dude from Fresh Off the Boat.
Yeah. A lot of his supposedly funny lines just felt like they fell by the wayside.
Or it's like, woo! Oh, I'm sorry, that was insensitive to me. I'm just really happy for a win, though. It's like...
Yeah, or always just chuckling, and I'm like, I don't think that was that funny.
I think I mean, kind of like, well, like a little
Yeah, one was like
giggle, but it's like, and then some of the jokes I didn't like. I'm kind of with you. It's like I didn't enjoy as much as some of our audience, but
yeah.
oh well, no. It's like I'm just happy there's no little kids. I was going, what happened? What happened?
Well, they do that behind us. They're going through a wall.
Well, just generally like in our theater.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the comedy. Wait, I will say the one who did surprise me was Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas was funny with everything he was trying to be funny with, I thought. There were so many good lines he had.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just remembering the scene where they like after the school.
Oh, yeah.
We got in the van after the school.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
He wanted juice box. I was like, well,
it's like,
do we have juice boxes?
it's like how's school?
Michael Douglas is...
I'm surprised they didn't go like, oh, someone's cranky, need a nap? Or something like that.
Yeah, there's... And that's the thing, there was this like little running gag throughout the film because Scott Lang, Paul Rudd's character, he got a new suit and it's kind of glitchy.
Yeah.
Eh.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it'll stay stuck on like big or small or
I think a lot of it was meant to be played a bit for laughs, but a lot of times it fell really flat, it felt like. And I think that's what kept killing it for me. I'm like, alright, so we have all this technology, and this is obviously not the first suit, even the original suit.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an improvement on the original suit. It's like, okay, well, how is it
so
glitchy?
crappy.
And the other one was like so much better.
Yeah, even though it was old.
Or older.
Yeah. It was one of those times where it constantly, it happened like 5 times in the movie, and it was enough that it kind of was like, okay, stop. It wasn't funny the first time. And there was one point where it kind of got played for decent laughs, like we were talking about. There's a point where he's at school and it kind of shrinks him down.
Yeah, at his daughter's school because he's having to pick something up. And
yeah. That's another issue I kind of had with this movie. And it wasn't as bad as with Valerian. It felt like there never was a straight line to the end of what this big major plot thread was. To give away a bit of the plot, Hope Van Dyne, of course, as she goes by, and Hank, they figure out that there was a signal coming from the quantum realm warning technobabble throughout this movie. If you did not like that in Star Trek Next Generation, you are not going to like it here. Because there's a lot of times my brain was going, stop, you're using words that don't make any sense. But they get a signal that seems to be Janet, the original Wasp, who we learned is played by Michelle Pfeiffer. Warning, that doesn't have a big purpose throughout it.
actually, what happens, they don't really get a signal.
Oh yeah, they believe since Scott was able to come back.
In the first one, it's like, well, maybe that means that she's still alive, and just they're discussing this, he has a dream, like, that he, like, met her in that little quantum subtonic zone thingy.
Yeah, like he ran to her and talked to her, and then he saw a memory from Janet.
Yeah, like from her perspective, and it's like, well, that was a really weird dream, and like, I had to call you and tell you about it. And they're like, okay, well, maybe you're able to access her memories and help us, like, you know, track her down.
Good point. Yeah, that's the general plot. And dear God, does it drag its feet about it. I think that's what I was having problems with.
Yeah, so many side quests.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, the Valerian issue.
Yeah.
We were actually talking about earlier.
It's just like, oh, well, we gotta go do this thing. Oh, well, we can't do that because this thing's not a problem.
And it's like, okay, well, now we finally got what we need, and we're gonna go do this thing. But this one thing gets in our way, or this one person, like, just hampers us by stealing our shit or whatever.
Yeah, after a while, you're like, just sit still.
Yeah. And I would say the villain's side, like, her story, I'm sorry, I don't give two shits about her.
Totally agree there. They wanted us to feel sorry for the main villain. The villain, of course, if you've seen in the trailers, is Ghost. Those who know about the villain, first off, you might be wondering, why are we calling it a she? Because Ghost in the comic books, if I'm not mistaken, is a guy and it's a scientist. originally that fucked up and made himself pretty much he can phase shift. Exactly. Sort of thing happened here, though. It's
supposed to be the guy's daughter, I think.
Yeah, and she shifts constantly in and out.
And she needs a suit to help her control it, and then she needs to absorb quantum energy from the subatomic reality thingy that they introduced in the first one.
Yeah.
Like Charlie said, technobabble.
Yeah. It's like, hey, get this, because we don't. We're going to be in your head, though.
And I think Lawrence Fishburne...
Mm-hmm.
I think he was totally wasted in this.
Yeah.
His character was, really inconsistent.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne. Sorry, I was about to call him Fistburn. That's what Ryu's nickname will be. Lawrence Fishburne, he's really good. He's given nothing good to say.
Yeah, he's just bouncing back and forth between two sides.
Yeah, it doesn't help. He's playing the character Bill Foster. Those who know him in the comics are so glad he didn't decide to get killed by a Thor clone. Oh yeah, Civil War is so wonderful. Not the movie is fantastic. The comic book, not so much. But in this, of course, Bill Foster was a colleague of Hank Pym, and so we can kind of realize that Hank Pym kind of is a dick. He's a bit Howard Starkish in a weird way, which it always didn't seem to gel some things, but I get it because it's closer to the comic books in my opinion. Because Hank Pym, he's a fucking idiot. He is such a smart, dumb guy. He's a dumb, smart guy. I should put it that way.
Strange enough, I knew what you meant.
Yeah, he's almost as bad as Reed Richards in the comic book. But here, Hank Pym, like I said, he's abrasive to everybody. Bill Foster, of course, has these problems and ends up that he actually is working alongside the bad girl, I guess, Ghost, who they're trying to make her not a outright villain. She just is more willing to go to villainous lengths, such as she's willing to hurt people and kidnap. Like at one point, she's willing to kidnap Scott Lang's daughter, Cassie. Never mind, that was from the first movie too. Maybe that's just when I said, hey, no, we already did that in the first one.
Yeah, like I said, a little bit of a rehash of the first one.
Yeah, but thankfully she didn't end up kidnapping Cassie. And like I said, with Ghost, her big problem, it's not motivation, it's just simply, it's told to us in the last, hour of the movie or so, just all of a sudden, character motivation. And it just feels so lackluster. I don't know why. It just
and towards the end, I still don't care.
Yeah, that's a big problem. You can't really care for the villain. They want us to feel something for her, but you just never get that. You never get any reason you should give two shits about this character that much. At best, you're like, I kind of feel slightly sorry for her as a human that, she kind of got dealt a really terrible hand.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of feel for her. Like, she's dying.
Yeah.
And so she's scared. It's like, okay, that's universal.
But she's dying quicker rate than all of us. Pretty much she's breaking down.
Well, that's what I mean. It's just...
But...
when death is upon us, we tend to kind of panic and sometimes, lash out before we eventually just kind of... It's like, okay, this is happening.
And it's understandable, but at the same time, she's just... it's not even acting-wise. She's just not memorable in any regards.
I still didn't care about her.
Yeah, speaking of Thor: Dark World, she's Malkai. You're not going to remember her. I don't think you're going to give two flying shits about her by the end of the movie. Right?
Yeah, especially if you, list and rate, all the Marvel villains. She's not going to be in the top 10, even.
I don't think she would be on top 20.
I was just about to say that. I was like, I don't think she can be in the top 20.
Hell, I think she's worse freaking Abomination. No offense. I kind of like Abomination, even though this guy dumb.
Yeah, Abomination's kind of forgettable.
Yeah. It just feels bad because we're kind of picking on... It's obviously there was a good idea. I think this movie might have got edited a bit in weird spots. Not quite Warner Brothers editing and meddling that tends to make just terrible films worse. But just, there's times where I'm like, okay, there was something probably here. Maybe this story would have, like, I think what might have helped is if there was hints of ghosts beforehand, and say we got pretty much a sign of her backstory beforehand, before she said it and all this. It's pretty much just said, here's how this happened. If you had saw, just like at the beginning, in all essence, her dad was trying something and ended up killing himself and his wife and ended up making his girl or his daughter face shift. If they would have just left it as, first off, the daughter's running there and the mother's chasing after her and suddenly explodes, and then, hey, roll opening credits, you know, especially after a confrontation with Hank Pym, more is showing, hey, Hank Pym's not a saint, he's actually kind of a dick. It gives more credence to any kind of a beef that she might have, and also makes the reveal of the actual character have weight.
Yeah.
Because beforehand they reveal it and it has no weight, has no, it's like, oh, it's a person we haven't seen.
Yeah.
As I said, there's just, they dropped the ball with this character.
Yeah, and instead it starts off with, it's like, oh, you remember some of these events from the first movie that we talked about and showed? It's like, well, we're bringing them up again. It's almost kind of a
Recap.
Yeah, pretty much like previously on, like in this movie.
Previously on the Ant-Man.
Yeah. And just kind of like, okay, well, we're picking up from there, and it's like, okay, now we're trying to find the mom, and there you go, movie.
Mm-hmm. And to get on some positives that we'll still talk about, pardon me, yeah, Hank Pym, he's good. Michael Douglas is always good in just about everything. Wasp, Hope Van Dyne, she does do good with what she has. She can still be a little wooden. I just meant Evangeline Lilly, she's a little on the wooden side, but she's not.
I would say nowhere near as bad as like Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, Kristen
I would say
Wiig.
they're actually far worse and far more wooden. It's like, am I acting? What?
I am acting.
Do I have emotions?
Like her woodenness and kind of distraughtness though works, because when she needs to do emotional scenes, though, she finally actually gives a little bit. It's like, there, that's that human thing we call emotions. Mm-hmm. Her and Scott still have really good chemistry together. Mm-hmm. They still play off each other. It does feel like this is more Ant-Man Wasp movie, but it feels like it's building to something a little bit bigger, a little bit more. And then we'll see what shenanigans they're going to get into. It was Scott, of course, Paul Rudd. It's hard to get angry at this guy. Michael Pena, on the other hand, can wear thin so quickly.
I would say, for those that found his whole, like, like, kind of narrating, kind of...
Sometimes it can be charming, but also his inability to shut up can give me horrible flashbacks to Vince Vaughn when he used to do that bullshit in comedies. Where he just kept saying, and then things, and this thing, and this other thing, and fart, and thing, and thing, and thing, fart, and pussy, vagina, and thing. It's like, shut up. Just breathe.
Yeah, his whole shtick from the first movie where he's explaining how he heard about Hank Pym's suit, or like, they didn't specify what it was exactly. They just knew it was like, okay, something valuable, and basically like explain like how he heard about it and telling that to Paul Rudd. For those that found that annoying in the first movie, there's a bit more of it in the second movie.
Yeah, there's
a whole gag around in fact where he's given truth serum and just kind of starts spelling his cuts, and he's like, well, what does this have to do with anything? It's like, dude, just once he starts saying, just let him finish the song. It's it's funny at parts. I think it works, but same time, I can understand how people can find it annoying. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, for me, I wanted it in smaller doses. It's like when he's on point, but when he's off, and he's unbearable to watch. And just like, please get him off screen. it never gets to the point where you're like, oh my god, shut up. But you're just like, right when you're getting to that point where it's going to start creeping in, it's like, okay, I took him off screen. Finally! There is another villain who poses absolutely no threat to either one of these heroes.
He's kind of funny in parts, but he's not really...
Walter Goggins popped back up into this movie. And because he's not done being a villain / anti-hero this year.
Yeah,
he's
not really given anything to do. He's just kind of wallpaper.
Yeah, he's meant to be a guy who is a foil in a way.
He's trying to steal stuff from them.
Yeah, and it's just...
While Ghost's trying to steal it as well, and it's like...
I think minus him, if they would have taken him out of it, because they didn't add anything to the film, or pretty much when he first gets introduced and talks with Hope, because he has the one part that they need to finish off their thing.
Yeah.
If they would have had that, and that would have been it of him, and just focused on Ghost and foiling her or trying to escape her or anything, it would have been so much better. He added nothing to the final bits of the movie. It's like, he's such a non-threat. That's...
Yeah, he's a lampshade. He's just there.
Yeah.
Doing nothing, so maybe, cracking a one-liner or just kind of like, mommy? Almost like...
Well, that's what I mean. Like, he's not a threat. It would be similar to, like, if, we're going to have an Iron Man movie, and out of all the guys, out of all these villains we could pick, we're going to pick out some random mafioso from the fight. It's like, he'll beat him like that. It'll take him all 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, even Ant-Man and the Wasp, they can
And I could have done without the truth serum running gag.
Yeah, that just is beat a dead horse with a joke.
It's not truth serum. Not truth serum. It's not truth serum. Oh, it is truth serum.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Thanks.
not really. I think maybe got a little giggle at the end. I was like, but for the most part, it's like the running gags. Like, it was not that funny. It just added nothing to it.
Though, again, to still talk about positive stuff.
Yeah.
The action in this movie, it is good. It's actually very well done. Where I wanted them to try more with changing shapes and sizes, they do a lot more of that, and in much better way. Not just that it was bad in Ant-Man, but they try and push the envelope where we were wanting them to push.
I was saying also Paul Rudd.
Yeah, and like I said, cannot get mad at Paul Rudd.
And Michael Douglas. Just...
Yeah. And also his daughter Cassie is just the most adorable thing ever. You cannot get mad at Cassie ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like her little reactions to stuff sometimes. But Michael Douglas, like, now I'm thinking about it, he kind of reminds me a little bit of old man Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, he's grumpy Luke in the best way. It's
like, oh, you feel that? It's like, it's kind of what Michael Douglas was doing in this movie.
I love grumpy Luke.
I love him too. He's so hilarious. It's like, and to the people on stage, like, oh, that's totally out of character for Luke. It's like, if you gotta realize, like, he's come a long way since that, young, naive, know-nothing little snot.
As Megan talks about Last Jedi again. So...
I'm saying, it's like, he's done stuff. He's seen shit.
He's seen some shit.
But getting back to Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I will say the ending of this movie is... For all the Marvel movies that have had to follow Infinity War, I was like, okay, well, what's this one gonna really do? Holy shit, what a dick kick. Like, the movie tries it on a super positive note, and I think nobody quite knew that they were gonna end Infinity War that way, and then they learned that Ant-Man and also went, well, shit. And then they had to film this scene.
I was saying, the mid-credit scene kind of explains where Ant-Man and his
posse and all that
and his group, like, how they fit into the events of Infinity War.
In the future events that are going to lead to Infinity War.
Yeah.
And wow.
And then there's an end credit scene. I think y'all can miss it.
Yeah, there's the mid-credit scene is the only one that's actually technically important. The other one, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's just some, like, little light humor. I think, like, just this big ant playing some drums and.
Yeah, and it's kind of off-putting in a way because they have the emergency broadcast thing because again it's after the events of Infinity War.
Yeah.
And go ahead and spoil a movie that's been out for 2 months. Everybody's been talking about. And everybody's seen. You know,
if you haven't, it sucks to be you.
Yeah, half the population of the entire galaxy is gone. And there's you hear the sirens and everything. You're like, okay, so what's going on? Like pretty much the thing that says like, hey, emergency broadcast shit, that burp noise. And you think, okay, well, we're going to see, how Scott's having to deal with it because we just saw something else. It's an ant playing drums, and you're like,
and just like,
the shit just happened, and why was that?
Yeah, it's like, it adds nothing to it. Maybe a little light humor.
But even then, it's in such a dark moment.
I would say it wasn't really that funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, not to spoil it, but we kind of already see this earlier in the film itself. Mm-hmm. Like, it adds nothing. It just does nothing. Goes nowhere.
So, what would you give this film as a final score?
Well, I was thinking that it was good. Not as good as the first one, but
yeah,
still good. I was thinking an 8. But I don't know. Now that we're talking about some of the flaws,
the villain that barely was a villain, it felt like.
Yeah.
So, Sonny Birch. I swear that was supposed to be a pun or something, and they just couldn't. They didn't have enough guts to go through the whole thing to make it Sunny Beach. Because I figured it had been too on nose.
Ironic, since he was missing a nose in Maze Runner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd have to give it a 7. Good, solid 7.
Yeah, and just to let y'all know, 7's not like, oh, it's a bad score.
Yeah.
7 it's good. It has a number of flaws. There's stuff that we can easily understand. Anybody who says they don't like it, and that's the reason why they don't like the movie, we can admit, but we still enjoyed the movie regardless. And I gotta agree with Megan. It's a 7. This is not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's a good movie, though.
Yeah, well, a few times in a while that we've agreed.
Yeah. There are so many parts of this movie that could work with a little bit of re-editing and taking out certain little bits of things that would have made this movie a lot more solid, a lot more cohesive too.
Yeah.
And that's just what holds the movie back. I think it's just that plot threads and some of the writing for the characters are not the best. But hey, it is what it is. It's an Ant-Man movie. Let's just be honest here. We just wanted good at least. Like, that they're able to make an Ant-Man movie that's not utter dreck is surprising.
Yeah.
So...
I think it's mostly to Paul Rudd, I think.
Yeah, Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas.
I would say, if they let Paul Rudd just kind of ad-lib his lines, or at least some of his lines like they do with Robert Downey Jr., I would not be surprised. And
I think they do. They let him, Chris Pratt, and Robert Downey Jr., of course, they all ad-lib a lot of their lines. Like I say, they're comedically intelligent people.
Yeah.
So, hey, that's Ant-Man and the Wasp. Good, not great movie.
Yeah, not spectacular. Not as good as the first Ant-Man movie.
But still, it's solid.
I would say definitely not as good as Avengers Infinity War.
That is like trying to compare...
Apples and oranges.
Yeah. Yeah, if we go by, Marvel movies, we have Avengers Infinity War, of course. Black Panther, a little bit lower. Then Ant-Man.
I would say kind of be like down there with Iron Man 3.
Yeah, it's a little bit above Iron Man 3 for me. Like Iron Man 3, if y'all ever wonder, like when I keep talking about it, like literally it's a 5. It's got a really good first opening act, even though it's
squanders some of its potential.
Yeah, the last bit of it, it's like, well, thanks, guys.
Like, this badass feelings like, oh, I'm an actor. It's like, and like this other guy is actually the Mandarin. It's like,
and he's so forgettable. Yeah, I think that actually might be the worst villain. Killian Grave. I think it's his name, Killian Graves. And it's the worst thing. I don't remember his name.
Something like that Guy Pearce's character.
Yeah, pretty much the lava dude.
Yeah.
He might be the worst villain. So, hey, that's Ant-Man the Wasp.
Go see it.
Yeah, go see it. It's still worth it to go see it.
Just, like, after the mid-credit scene, just go ahead and leave the
Yeah,
theater.
go piss off and go watch something else as well. We'll be back next week. Maybe Hotel Transylvania 3. Hopefully, sorry to bother you. So that way we can bother you about talking about it. So, hey,
You're going to be really confused if there's no good showtimes for Sorry to Bother You, and we're having to go see Hotel Transylvania 3, and you haven't seen the first two.
Exactly what happens in the first movie. He's overprotective of his daughter. She ends up falling in love with a human. Second movie, they have been married, and he gets a grandson. He's overprotective of grandson.
Actually, not overprotective. He's, like... He keeps insisting that the kid is a vampire. I'll explain it to you here in a little bit.
You already did.
But,
and I don't... And that's just the thing. It's like, I just don't care. That's the biggest problem. Like, Hotel Transylvania 3 could be alright, and there's going to be a whole lot of apathy for me.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's actually his daughter that's kind of the overprotective one. He kind of, like, throws his grandson off of a
cliff.
Not a cliff, a...
tower.
Yeah, tower thing. To help him, like...
turn into a bat.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
It's like we're playing $25,000 pyramid here. Like, Megan's having to sit here and do images and all that, and having to fill in the blanks.
Because my mind is just...
But hey, we'll be back next week, hopefully with a really good movie. At the very least, sorry to bother you. If not, we'll be back with a movie. So until then, everyone, we'll see y'all later. So bye-bye.
Buzz off. I couldn't help it. It was there for me.